So as I was saying, this week we pretty much hit two powerful principles, and that's range theory and one to the next. In one to the next, you're really trying to understand how one candle literally stitches itself beside another candle. It's literally one to the next. It's the smallest unit of price movement that you could possibly track, beside like the movement within inside of one own candle. Like what you're doing is, like, say you're at the bottom of the chart, you're at the 1 minute chart. You're literally watching how one candle will put itself will print itself next or beside to another candle. That's all that is. You're really trying to get the nuances, the characteristics, the flavor, the timing, the energy, the behavior. That's all you're trying to understand, is how is this thing working itself into the candle beside this one. That's all that is. Does anybody have any comments or questions on one to the next? I know some of y'all are at work, so we're good.
Nope, not yet.
You guys got no comments on one to the next? Like, y'all ever experienced such a teaching, even though it's happening in front of everybody's eyes? Like, ever? It's always happening in front of you. Have you ever noticed it?
Never.
Nah.
No
So, like,
matter how many
Not
classes I've
before
been to.
RDA.
all right, so since you've noticed it, what have you done with it? Or like, what has kind of been the environment inside your mind? Like, what's been the layout inside of your mind as you look at price now, print one to the next?
I got a clear direction, I
Okay,
would
so
say.
you have more of a directional type of sense because of it.
I would say so, yeah.
That's pretty baller. What else? Mo said on the chat, one to the next is so powerful. Why would Mo say something is so powerful, so effective, so working, something that works? That's what he's saying.
Because it's efficient, like you was talking in the other class. It's not just effective, it's efficient as well.
So efficient is like a way to study something with with the idea of maximization. So like maximizing on the time or the quality of the study in that time. Like that's efficiency. So powerful is more tied into effectiveness. So like
Okay.
what in the principle one to the next speaks its power? Like what's powerful about it? What's effective about it? What makes it effective?
I can speak from the perspective of the industry. You'll
Please.
be in, certain chats, you'll be around certain people, and they'll be like, well, I think it's going this way. I think it's going that way. Whereas we're one to the next, it actually gives you clarification of the direction that you should have a bias towards. Right. So it avoids a lot and it eliminates a lot of headache, a lot of questioning, a lot of trying to figure stuff out when the answer is right there.
Yeah, it's all in the stick. It's all in the box and two sticks, a candle. It's all there. And a lot of people always ask me sometimes, even after here, they always ask me, when are we going to go over direction? And it's like, man, you really got to watch really closely, because I've taught everything that I'm going to teach. Actually, I've already taught it in week 1. Direction, entry, exit, everything. I taught everything. I've already taught it up to now. I taught it all in week 1 for the most part. And then like this one video, which I actually started in week 1. So yeah, I taught everything you're going to know in week 1. So we went over direction and everything. And that's actually apparently somebody's main PowerPoint of one to the next, is that it gives you kind of a directional sense. Naj says it gives you clarity, kind of gives you like a clean template for price to appear. Does anybody have anything else to say, or is that pretty much it? Mo put, for me, it really slows down the science of candle building. When you take out all the outside noise, it gives you clear understanding to make clear decision. So see, your decision making, the actions you take are tied into what's in your mind. That's why Mo said it gives you like this principle or this teaching gives you clear understanding. So now that you have a clear understanding, you can actually take a clear action. So that's pretty powerful. Referencing the candle. I don't know what you were saying with that, but I'm gonna take it and spin it off with this. So with referencing the candle with one to the next, You're not referencing your mind or books or blogs or other content creators and stuff like that. You're literally referencing what's on your screen. All right, so that's, unless you guys want to keep chiming in on one to the next, that's just pretty good information on it. So in case you didn't have that perspective on this, these 3 videos here, maybe you should rewatch them with that perspective now. Moving on to range theory. What can you guys tell me about range theory? One core thing, has it taught you guys anything at all?
Like the market moves in ranges, but like for me personally, like yesterday or the day before when I was trying to look for ranges, as they were printing to the right, I was kind of having a difficult time because sometimes it would I would be able to create a range and then
Well, you
you
know
can
why?
see the pullback.
You know why right
Go
now?
ahead.
Because you haven't done the install program. That's what that tells me. You're having a hard time because you don't have enough data. When you use your mouth to tell me what's in your mind like that, like you just showed it to me. You said, I'm having a hard time putting ranges to the right. That means you're trying to see something in the future that you have no data on. That's why you can't see it. There is no future in your mind. You can't, it's hard to see it. That's what you just said. So I'm going to tell you again, you shouldn't be doing no future projections while you're studying. That does not exist. You need to study data and reverse engineer it. You need to already know the answers. You need to do hindsight study. You need to be the hindsight warrior, because you need to program market movements into your mind so that as you practice to the forward, like to the future, to the right side of your screen, you're going to have that data to refer to in your mind. That way you don't have no data or bad data to refer to when you're trying to look into the future. Does any of that make sense?
Yes, yes, it does.
Let me even
When
draw
I
it.
go
I want
because
to draw it because actually this is like very powerful thing. Like this is what's going to help Chase from continuing to trade, even though he says he's not. Like this is going to help everybody stay still. You see what I'm saying? Watch. Your mind, this box, right, is your mind box. The data in it is going to be what it's referring to make sense of this problem over here. All right, this mind sees this equation on the screen. This equation on the screen, this data is showing itself to this mind. Now, this guy is looking at, you see the potential future. It's a blank space. That means that you're supposed to fill that in. See, even in simple 1 + 1 = blank, that was reality, or the teacher or education, whatever, giving you space to print your answer. And that's kind of how markets work. There's always going to be a space to materialize data in. So anyways, 1 + 1 = blank. So now your mind has to literally fill in the blank. There's nothing there. So where's it coming from? It's going to materialize out of you. So you have to kind of fill that in before it happens. But how do you do that? If you have nothing there, that's what's in your mind. Look at what you see over here. Still nothing. So you're having a hard time seeing what's there. There's nothing there. There's not enough data. There's not a clear image, or there's bad data. See, like if this is in my mind and that's the space and this is the relationship, data came in this way, my mind grabbed hold to what it knew and fed it this way, and now wrote it here, and that's incorrect. That's just how trading works. If you take in data the wrong way and you have faulty information, you're gonna buy and sell at the wrong places.
I bet.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is actually kind of reviewing the first video in week 1, like the clear thinking stuff. This is like your mind. So like what I'm trying to do, we're trying to clear this stuff up in here so that when you operate, when you see things the right way, when you think the right way, you're going to do things the right way. So when you have good information, good data, good intel, this space is going to appear in that data set, in that problem, right here. It's going to come here. Your mind is going to refer to data. It's going to pass it through and fill in the blank. And then it's going to win or get it correct. See, when we see things the right way, when we think the right way, we'll do the right things. It's that simple. So when you guys are saturated with gimmicks and stuff like that, like you're overthinking about, whether your trend line should go wick to wick or body to body or body to wick or wick to body, or whether your fibs percentage should be 618 or 62 or 61, or if your fib should have different colors, or if you should have extensions on them, or if you should use them, or if you should use the 19 MA or the 18 MA, or if it should be a EMA or a SMA, and if it should be blue or red. You see, like, rather than juggling all of that, like right now, I just noticed thinking about all of that, I was completely in my mental headspace, and I was not looking at anything in front of me. I was just juggling information, but there's nothing in front of me where I can actually put it. So it's like I was just all up in my head. I was all in my mind, and most people are trading while they're just in the couch in their mind. They're just sitting literally in their mind. They're just sitting there, but they're not interacting with anything in reality. So that's why there's no power. That's why they get tons of L's all the time. Man, you got to rewind this one. This one's really good, I got to say. Thank you, Vikram, for inspiring that one, because this one's actually really powerful. Go back and get the replay.
Of course.
All right, so range theory. Anybody else have anything to say?
A couple of things that actually stuck out to me with range theory. Recognizing that we aren't really buying the candle, or we're buying the area that we're anticipating the candle to go in. So you stop looking at candles at that point in time. You look at the area.
Yeah.
You're just waiting patiently. That was huge for me.
Yes.
And also recognizing that we have to train our minds to anticipate reaction and not react to reaction, because that's what the industry teaches you. They teach you to react to the reaction. But
Yep.
you anticipate it, you'll get better positioning, and your risk reward ratios will be significantly better.
That's true. So range theory, in a way, helps you focus more on the land more than on the house. And that concept is like, what is the candle data printing on top of? See, it's a space, it's an area, it's an environment. So the candle data itself, think of it as little houses that just appear on top of land. So I want you guys to focus more on buying the land, the area that the data will print on. See, it's almost like you don't even care about the data. You're so focused on the area that price will form highs and lows. That's all you care about. Like, you're more so focused on when they get to a certain area at a certain time in order to execute, more than having to see something. You don't have to see anything. This is actually faith-based trading. I don't want to put in the recording, but I have to, because this is where I got it from. This is where I got it from. So I got to show you. Look. This is where I learned this from. Hebrews 11 and 3. By faith, we understand. See, faith, there it is, faith-based. So by faith, we understand that the entire universe was formed at God's command, that that what we now see did not come from anything that can be seen. Okay, it is by faith we understand that the whole world was made by God's command, so what we see was made by something that cannot be seen, not made from or by visible things. So the things that we see are materializing because of invisible things. So what I was showing you guys over here, you see, you got a range, but that creates this space right here, right here. This is the upper half of this price range from high to low. That environment, that invisible area, what is located there, what you can't see, is actually what's going to generate the thing that you can see, not the other way around. Most people keep referring to the thing they can see, which is data, to try to trade, but that's not how it works. new things materialize off of the things you can't see. So this area, when it's like this, you're looking at it, you have to understand. That's why it's faith-based. It takes faith to understand that. There, you can't see it, but there are orders there resting and waiting. And there's a time clock here waiting to feed those orders. And when it does that, everything looks up. But you have to understand this area, though you can't see what it's doing, it's going to be a sell area. And that's the environment you want to sell at. This is the condition you want to sell into. And then you're anticipating the price run. That's how you get the absolute best prices at the best time. You have to understand the area. You can't actually see it. That's why pattern-based traders, they're never going to get a better price than people like us who purchase and sell the land and not the house, because we don't actually have to see the house print in order to get in. We're going to narrow down the exact area and window before it actually even gets there. Any comments or questions?
Honestly, that's very powerful. I appreciate you connecting the two for me. It resonates a lot more now.
Mm-hmm.
That's
What?
really powerful. I'm my fault.
Go ahead.
That's really powerful because I actually was talking with I actually was talking with David yesterday about that, and he mentioned the more my faith is stronger. To paraphrase, the more my faith gets stronger, the better I've been at trading, and this just confirms what was said as well. So I just find that extremely interesting, and that definitely does come with more. That comes with more observation with studying on the charts, but that also comes with more your communication with God as well, your interaction with Him on developing that faith and knowing that
Yeah, that's like
those things are
you're actually
great.
bringing up a strong point, like where a long time ago my focus was solely on the charts. All I did was study the charts, market, chart, course, book, people, right? That I was just so out here. I would not work on my real life. So actually it didn't matter. Like all the energy I was putting into what I wanted would not, nothing would come out of it because it was all the energy going into the wrong places to cultivate growth. See, so like you really should focus on your real life, because if you focus on winning at life, you're gonna naturally win at the stuff you do in it, you know? So that's just some wisdom out there. So anyways, but the point is, I just want to get back into this. I don't want to stray too far off of these themes and concepts. So in the theme of this review, basically, it just ended up being a review so far, that the area that you can't see, you have to understand what it contains and what it can produce. And with that, you hold on to that understanding and that belief so that when market gets there, you can confidently take trades in those areas. When everything is pointing up, you can sell because you really understand the area. You have more investment in the area than you do on the data itself. So that's what you guys should study more so. And that's what these things help you do. One to the next. And range theory more so gives you the template and area that you can expect certain price action to print out of. So that's you guys really want to study these for that, like environment, context, template for trading, for entering, for exiting. That's what you get from these two. And that's why you get so many of those videos. They're very important. All good?
Yes, sir.
Would you say that covers well, I didn't really, I guess I kind of actually built on these concepts a little bit, like more on your perspective or the psychological value you should have of them while you do study them. One to the next, you know, it gives you the body. Let me see, because now I'm gonna try to change it into kind of a review.
Can we focus on ranges after whenever we get a chance?
This is a range. Everything Everything
Yes, candlestick.
that we could cover, I'm always going over it. Anytime if I'm bringing up a candlestick, I'm going over range. If I'm bringing up a candlestick, I'm going over time. If I'm bringing up a candlestick, I'm going over price. If I'm bringing up a candlestick, I'm going over range. If I'm bringing up a candlestick, I'm going over time frame. If I'm bringing up a candlestick, I'm going over entries, exits, targets, stops, market theory, open price, reference points, because it's all part of it. I'm always going over it. So just so you know, whatever you have to ask, I'm already going over it. So feel free to enjoy that.
I'm
Because
just at
now
work, so
at this range, well, wherever you are, this range from, let's say this is 0 to 100. This would mark the halfway point of that candle. So when this next candle opens, we're already, since that high formed of that candle and where this candle closed, it already closed inside of the range, and we already start inside of the range. So now it just moves deeper in it, and it moves specifically into the part that's making the body of the previous candle. Sometimes you'll see it go past. You'll study those conditions. Those candles are usually smaller. And then sometimes this candle is usually really large because of some news thing. But besides the fact, the low, for the most part, I've seen it print inside of the previous body for the most part, for like really nice continuation setups, for like an inside to outside move. All right, so that's one to the next. You see how it kind of gives you a template, an area to look at based on the last candle. That was inside to outside. Outside, you open, you run out the outside first, grab these orders, and you move on back inside to any orders that may exist inside the range. But for that, you're going to need to break open this candlestick to see where all the other highs and lows within inside of this range is. But yeah, that's outside to inside. And all you're doing is moving from orders to orders, whether the orders are inside first and then taken to the outside second, or the orders are taken to the outside first and then taken to the inside second. Those are your most common templates that the market will do to the last candle right there. And then range theory pretty much enhances one to the next in a sense. Instead of seeing one candle bar by bar, you're seeing groups of candles in like full ranges. So that's when we have, color it like this. You have a low and a high, just like a candle that creates a range. In fact, this is a candle, and I'll teach you that later. If this is the open and this is the close, now I have 4 points: open, high, low, close. So I can just literally, if I connected everything, it would look like this. These are the same. See, I'm always talking about a range. So anyways, but this is what the perspective of a group of candlesticks looks like. This is a simplified look to it. In reality, for the most part, you'll probably see them form like this. Something like that. So this is the low. Right here, just like this is the low. So then this is the extreme in one to the next, just like this is the extreme. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They visually look different, but they represent the same exact thing. It's a low, that's a low, same principle. So then what's beyond the low is an extreme. That's what's here. Okay, so then this is a high, just like this is a high. It's the same thing. This is the close, just like this is the close. This is the start or the open, just like this is. Same picture. So now the concept of opening here and going into the range, that's because when the market opens, what it's going for, it's below those lows that are inside of that range. See, from this low to this high, right? The market has a range set. So when it reaches in, it's grabbing the orders that are inside of the range. And then when it grabs them at a certain time, it'll move them to the outside part of the range and expand out. And that's actually what generates the body of the next candle. So it gives you a picture that ends up looking like this. So I pretty much just put, this is range theory. And then this is one to the next. And I just put them together. See that I haven't even changed subjects. I call them different things, but that's because they appear differently, but I'm doing the very same thing. Does this make sense to anybody or to nobody?
Makes sense.
A lot of sense.
It's funny because you kind of went over this beforehand, but it's just like every single time you go over it, you just deepen our understanding of it. Similar to like how you're telling us to study the charts with hindsight data, it's the same exact thing. So it's always good to just consistently just go over the same information. Though some people might say, we did this already. I'm like, no, it's important because you might not have been paying attention the first time.
Exactly.
Or the first time.
Or I may not have said it as complete as I'm saying it this time. So I'm trying to be very thorough for a reason. Please do, Chase.
So you mind if I share something that Spirit's telling me to share with everybody? So we briefly a little while ago, we went over faith, right? Now, as I was studying yesterday, I'm just reflecting on my real life situations and everything and what I'm studying for. Now, in the Bible, it says faith without works is dead. Like you can't have faith and be idle. You can't have faith and be stationary. You can't have faith and be passive. You have to take action. And you have to do that with everything in life. So as I'm on the chart studying, and I was actually doing one to the next on the monthly candle, and little ideas kept coming. Like I want to see what a inside to outside monthly candle looks like and what that looks like on the days that built it. I want to see outside to inside candle and what that looks like on the days on the inside that built it. Little
like
ideas.
Just like whenever you're focusing more on learning directly from the charts and not have to have that external visible validation or auditory confirmation from like a person or a book, you're actually doing it like that. That's like that study. It's a faith-based work. Basically, you're taking this information and you're acting on it. That's all you're trying to say. Like just take it in and act on it, because that shows that you believe it. If you don't act on it, what are you here for? You see what I'm saying? Like you're not trying to, you just stuck in your own ways. Like if you're not going to try doing it the way that I'm prescribing it, then you're stuck in your own ways and you have no real faith in it. Does that make sense?
Right. Like, you hit the nail on the head.
There's no movement. There's no movement behind it. So it's actually dead. You don't believe it. There's no faith in it. So, but anyways, good stuff, man. You guys gotta, just, if we focus on our life, focus on the things we can't see and just think a bit, like try to introspect, untangle them thought waves, man, because it's not letting you see things clearly, which is not letting you judge things clearly, which is not letting you position yourself clearly. So that is pretty much, I used up most of every single minute except these last 6 minutes to go over range theory and one to the next, because that's where the emphasis was this week. Lastly, this first three, I was kind of just getting my footing and introducing still a couple concepts. The HPE overview, you guys know what those are, the high probability elements. I had to set the foundation before giving you high probability elements. You can learn to appreciate why if you really think about it. I kind of first start introducing price ranges as well, but we already know what those are. That this is kind of going over like what sets a price range, the high and the low. So if you are really weak on, range or range theory, range concepts, even one to the next, you should start there. And that's why it's in the beginning to begin with. So then we get the candle printing process, you know, understanding its start to finish procedure. So what I'm trying to impart to you in these two videos is process oriented thinking. This thing goes through a process. It undergoes a process. It has to submit to time to complete this process, to carry out the process. It goes through time. So that's what I'm trying to get you to really get into here, is that you have to learn how to submit to time if you want this process to complete. So I'm highlighting and enhancing and teaching the process of candle printing from start to finish. And what that's supposed to do is supposed to tap you into, it's supposed to tap you into some ideas about, if this thing is a process and it's time-based, you know, are there specific time spots where things happen, where things form, where events unfold? And once you get into that, now your analytics take a different form. You know, they really start to get more meticulous. For example, like look at my analytics here. Who can see what I'm doing here?
I can't really tell.
Exactly, bro, because I'm that deep in. but it's really simple though. You just got to look. I have simply a 10 pip range. What if I did it this way actually? Tell me what I'm doing.
You're going up like you're within 100 points range, and you're going up. You marked off every 10 points.
Try
No,
again.
it's actually 10 pips, and he's marked off every 1 pip.
And I'm on what chart?
USD Chief.
But time chart.
Oh, 1 minute.
So put it together. What am I doing? I'm looking at the smallest incremental movements. I mean, there's smaller movements, you know, there's like seconds and way smaller. There's numbers in between these, but I'm just going to stay on the number one here. 1 minute time, 1 minute or 1 pip price. And you can literally study how price moves pip to pip in ranges and one to the next. So it's giving me like, it's organizing all this data into numbers. So like I could call out events like the range from 87 to 89. See, so that way I could just say like this, that range right there. It ended up dropping to 85 right here. See, I'm still not even looking really at the data. I'm really just seeing the price levels that are being worked off of. That way everything is clean. See, I see my data as straight as this blue line. That's why I drew it like that, because I'm showing you what I see. Most people see this stuff, which is all over the place, up and down, and it's just everywhere. I'm really just seeing it in waves. Anyways, let me go back here. Movement, process. There's a procedure, process, range. You could study it, get very meticulous, pip by pip, minute by minute. Candle ticking, birth, movement, closure, HPEs. Yeah, this is done. This review is pretty much complete. What'd you guys say? Or do you guys need another one?
I think it was pretty good.
It's complete to me.
That was week 2.
I'm gonna go against what people are saying. You could always go good with another one. You
Well,
can never go wrong.
Hey man, I just got here. Let's do another one.
Hey, hey.